Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So we got another one. Just gonna let you hear it. Here we go.
53. And I just can't believe that I'm sitting here and it has been several years. I think it was over a year that I had a date, and then it's been several years since then. Where are all the good men? I'm tired of being alone. I want to share my life with someone. I am just freaking tired. I want to be in love. I want to share my life with someone. I want to feel the joys. I want to have my hands held. I want to be held. I want to kiss. I want to support. I want to make coffee with that person. I want my person. I want my person. Why is it so hard to find your person? I'm tired. I'm 53.
Now, she look good for 53. This is not a ugly woman. You know, this is not some unattractive older woman. She's attractive enough to attract an older man. Okay. So it's probably not her physical that's the problem here. It's probably not even her age at this point, because there are older men who may be widowers. You know, people are in different situations. So it's possible to find someone when you get older, although it becomes more difficult. The pool to choose from is smaller than it used to be. But here's the problem. I wonder if this one has ever been married before. And if she was, I wonder, did her marriage end in divorce or did it end in death? Because that would make a bit of difference as to why she's in this predicament now. And she's saying it's been years since she had a date. It's been years since, and it's going to be years. It's going to be years. Unfortunately, if this was the type of woman that spent her time in her youth rejecting her husband, then this is what you ask for. See, even if you aren't the kind of woman that was hopping from man to man when you was younger, typically women meet their husbands in their 20s. Some of them meet them in their 30s. And then that's it. And when I say that's it, I don't mean you can't meet your husband later on, but I'm talking about that first time to get married. You probably met your husband when you were younger. And many women reject that man. And sometimes she had more than one chance to meet a husband, a man that would have been her husband. But she rejected him for one reason or another. She ain't attracted. He ain't this, he ain't that, or she's at this point in her life and she's not ready, and, all of those sorts of things, whatever the case may have been. It tells me about her mindset, the fact that she refers to the man that she wants as her person. I don't like that word. I don't like that word as it pertains to I want a man or I want a woman. Don't be saying you just want no person. Anyways, That tells me about the type of mindset that she has bought into. See, the fact that she's 53 doesn't mean that she ever had a traditional or old school mindset. She probably likely had always had a feminist mindset and a hyena's mindset. And she felt like, especially if she's pretty now, she was fine when she was young. So there was no end to men who were trying to get with her. Because if you're a pretty woman, men want to get with you. Even if you're a pretty hyena, they'll take a chance. Okay? Men will take a chance on a pretty woman, even if she's not ideal, even if she don't show up the way he want her to show up. If she's pretty enough, he'll take, it's a crapshoot. He'll go ahead and gamble that and just see. You're trying to see something. Okay? So there are always going to be men for pretty women who want to be their husbands, who don't just want to trick off on them, but that want to be with them. Okay. And when you're one of these women that think that it's always a next man somewhere else around the corner, that it's going to be another one because you're so pretty that they're coming out of the woodworks, and you get accustomed to that. And then it becomes a shocker when it stops happening or when it slows down significantly, right? Because if you're really pretty, that phenomenon of men wanting to be with you, that can last past your 20s into your 30s. You see what I'm saying? If you're pretty enough, just the pool of men changes, but the fact that they want you doesn't really change. It may slack off a little bit, right? But then it's that sharp decline, and that's when they get shocked. They get shocked at the sharp decline because it's going to happen no matter how pretty you are. That sharp drop off where men aren't coming around like that. And when they do come around, they're certainly not coming around with stars in their eyes with you. They're coming to you with a more realistic approach of who you are because of where you are in your life. You don't have a man. See, and this is the thing that men start thinking about when they get a little older. They're trying to figure out, for as pretty as you are and for as attractive as you are and for all of these qualities that they initially like about you, why is it that no man has ever scooped you up? Why are you available? You see what I'm saying? And this is why I opened what I said up with, has she ever been married and how did that marriage end? Because if you have all these qualities and you're available because you say, I was married and my husband passed away. Oh, well, now I see why you're back on the market. Okay. If you say, I was never married and you 53, now they looking like, well, why? It becomes more difficult, not because you're old and wrinkly and men don't want you, because the men of your age group will want you if you're still good looking. What the problem becomes is you become set in your ways as a hyena. You set in the boneyard like you said. And so once you're set in your ways, in the boneyard ways, it's extremely difficult to alter any of that or change any of that or address your issues to make you more desirable or to make you a keeper in that sense. That's the problem. That's the problem with younger women. That was this woman's problem in her 40s. And that was her problem in her 30s. She was too set in how she thought of things and how she and her perception of men and her perception of relationships, and she could just pick it up when she wanted to, and see all of those things factored into her not ever being chosen by a suitable man. Now she wants that affection. She wants that masculine energy around her. She wants to be hugged and touched and loved. And because women get older don't mean that we stop wanting that. We do want that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting that. but you're supposed to be getting that now from your husband, assuming that you ever got married. You understand? I get where she coming from, right? I get where she coming from, woman to woman. It's not fun being an older woman and then being single on top of that. That's not a fun place at all. That's not a fun place. That's not a cool place. I wasn't cool in that space. So I know that she's not cool in that space. And most women are not cool in that space. They're not cool in that space. Because what you start to think is, am I ever going to get it? Like before I die. And unfortunately, the chances are slim that you get what you're looking for, because she's still looking for the fantasy, which is also a part of the problem. She still want to be swept off her feet, which is also part of the problem. She still has not come to practicality. She still hasn't. This is what lets me know she's turned down at least 2 to 3 men in her lifetime that could have been her husband. Because she was looking for the fairy tale, and had she given it a chance, she probably would have got the fairy tale. She probably would have got the fairy tale. But because it didn't read off to her as the fairy, oh, he didn't sweep her off her feet and take her to Saint Tropez, and all this craziness, it wasn't the fairy tale. You can get your fairy tale. It don't have to show up like that. It don't have to show up like a Disney movie. It really don't. And you can get everything that you were trying to get out of a relationship, the depth and the affection and the connection and all of that. And it doesn't have to happen on a cruise around the world. And it doesn't have to happen, in Paris as the Eiffel Tower was lit up. Like, stop it with the Hollywood stuff. Because that's not how the fairy tales go anyways. Fairy tales always start out rough. You only get to the fairy tale part at the end, when you done been through the trials and tribulations. People don't be even paying attention to fairy tales. Fairy tales be starting out rough. Cinderella did not start out at the ball. Cinderella started out getting abused. I'm not saying you got to get abused. I'm saying even the fairy tales start out tough. She still want a fairy tale. This is why she alone at 53. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, the Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonite.